Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Terra Gaze here, and basically, as we know, it's Eli's birthday. And for those of you who are an absolute forehead like me, that's actually the Seer in Identity V. So not only is it his birthday, but it's also Halloween, and that's honestly one of my favorite holidays. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at him, look at some gameplay, and go into a deep dive on him, and just see what we think about him. Other than that, let's get down to it. All right. Alright, so Eli Clark. From an early age, Eli could see visions, and interactions with these visions caused Eli to view the world with an all new perspective. However, this ability didn't really improve his finances, and his promise he made to his fiancée forced him to accept the invitation from the Oletus Manor. Will his marvelous ability help him overcome his financial difficulties? Okay, so honestly, he doesn't really look like he's having some financial troubles. Like, that suit he wears looks pretty dank. But that's his backstory. There's not really much to go on. But let's go ahead and dive into his abilities. So the Seer's first ability gives him access to an owl. With this owl, you can go ahead and spectate your allies, or you can even command it to protect them, guarding them from one hit. His secondary ability is it's prophecies. This allows him to see the hunter's position 5 seconds after they've spotted him. This is actually a really good ability. We'll go into that in a little bit. His third ability is called Great Eye. The Seer can see in the first 5 seconds of the match, he can see the location of the hunter, which is also an amazing ability we'll go into later. Last but not least, he has an ability called Taxing, which is actually kind of a minus effect. After protecting somebody, the vault rate that he goes over obstacles are going to be reduced by 10%. And this does actually have a cap. It caps at 50%, so you can get pretty slow, actually slower than the Mind's Eye, which can be pretty bonkers at sometimes. But that's if you protect 5 times. But we'll go ahead and go into deeper dives on his abilities right now. So when you start off the game, the owl goes absolutely nuts. He has to get a good sniff of everybody on the map before soaring back to you. This will be marked on the top of the screen with the eye icon on the heads up display. You can actually use this ability before he has gained all the scents of everybody. However, you only get access to the people he has currently got the scent of. So generally you want to wait until he returns on his own. But after you use the ability, he'll go back to doing his rounds until he has everybody. So in the beginning of the match, I normally like to peek for the killer. I did not do this in this match just because I was goofing around with my Bambinos in chat, and normally you want to look for that, so you can kind of give your allies the heads up of who the killer is, and have them better equip themselves for the match. But because my IQ is literally 6 million, I ran into him in the beginning being too altruistic anyways, so he was the Ripper. So just a reminder, if you're actually spotted by the killer, you have 5 seconds where you can see him through the wall, so use this to your advantage. If you break line of sight, go for a crouch so you can maybe lose the killer and watch him walk past you. Do something like that, can be really, really useful. I used it one time in here, but I stayed too long trying to recharge my owl, and that was a silly move, but it still, it still worked for a moment there. He walked right past me tunneling the other person. So when you're viewing your allies from your owl, you can spectate them a bit, but during this time you can watch when they might be in danger and make sure that you use your command protect. Remember, if you exit this, your owl will go on cooldown, so make sure that if you use this, you are planning to either use the ability, and also make sure you don't accidentally waste it on somebody who may have already lost the killer. That can be something you can easily run into, especially being a newer player on the Seer. Furthermore, when you're spectating an ally, remember that your character is stationary. You can actually be healed in this state, which is pretty cool, so maybe when you use your ability while you're being healed by an ally, or something like that. However, you do not move, and you will hear a heartbeat if the killer is around you. And you'll get a little icon in the left corner with your owl shaking when there's someone close to you. But you'll have to be careful because you're also going to be coming into an environment that you don't know as soon as you come back. That's kind of the downside to using this ability. So my final thoughts on the Seer here is I think he's a really good character where he's at. I think his downside, with the whole using the ability to protect somebody and losing 10% vault speed doesn't really seem that much of a downside. So maybe I would probably buff his decrease there, make it a little bit worse or more taxing on him, because 10% each time you do that is not really high because you have to charge up your crow again, much like the Enchantress, so it doesn't seem very, it doesn't seem like it really taxes him that much, to be honest, ironically with the name. But other than that, I think he's in a pretty good spot, for real. I don't think there's really any change that need to be done to him, at least not now, anywho. But guys, I have to go dress up as a Pillsbury Doughboy and knock a few back with the bros. So until then, you guys have a fantastic day and an even better Halloween. Take it easy. Bye!
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.